What sober living did for me is it gave me that safe space where I could learn to live life without the use of drugs, because I didn't know how.
These are men that I share a bond with that is probably not different than a wartime bond, right? These are men that I will love forever.
It allowed me to get my feet on the ground and under me, make connections. But at the end of the day, when you live in a safe environment with other people who are of the same mindset, it makes it easier because there's always someone to talk to. And it helps to keep that recovery your main focus. And without it, I don't think I'd still be sober.
And I was lucky enough to get into Hope in Strathcona in Sherwood Park. And, I didn't realize how important it was for my recovery, because even though I thought I had it made after Thorpe and I'm recovered, it gave me the grace of being surrounded by other addicts and the ability to open up and be vulnerable with other men. If I had just moved into an apartment, I wouldn't have had that experience, right?
When I was in sober living at Hope House, there was a lot of autonomy supported there.
Sober living turned out to be great. Again, I now had these, people who I got to live with who, became like brothers. It wasn't like I thought it would be. We were just a bunch of guys who wanted to stay sober together.
Being new in recovery, out of treatment, I needed to have those big brothers with me that I could lean on sometimes. I felt more comfortable going into a meeting with somebody that I knew, right? And then at Hope in Strathcona, we have, those two men's meetings. Those are my safe places, right? Those are my sounding boards. They're, I can't really explain how special those have been for me, right? And I wouldn't change it for the world.
Like I had said, I had a sense of community in all stages, but in the sober living, it was a lot more intimate. And we were kind of masters of our own house there, to some degree. So we had to work together. We had to keep the place, in order, and we went grocery shopping together, and, there was an honor system. You don't eat anyone else's food, but we were also tight-knit that we often chipped in and made big meals together. So there was a lot of life-building skills that, I got out of the sober living.
I think the biggest surprise with sober living was that it was just a safe space that I could get my feet on the ground. I could get my recovery thriving. I could meet people, make connections. Connection is the opposite of addiction.
At Hope House, it really gave me a sense of dignity back. This is a place that's in a suburb neighborhood. You'd never know it was a sober living house unless you asked somebody. So there was a lot of dignity. I could feel proud of where I lived, and I could also feel pride in keeping the place kind of, in good shape. Autonomy, the brotherhood, the safety, and the dignity. Those are the big four things I think that I got out of where I went.
My family that I've gained in recovery has been essential to my growth, and really at the end of the day, they're a lot of the times the ones who even make me see the growth in myself.
All of my apprehension about sober living was revolved around the idea that I had something to lose by going into sober living. And that just wasn't true. I had everything to gain. It was nice to be able to have this place to begin my integration process back into the real world.
it's easy to do treatment, but now you got to start fending for yourself and, you know, learning how to be responsible with your money, you know, paying bills, making food, you know, all the things that sometimes we don't know how to do.
The fact that we even have an opportunity to get into recovery and like people are there to support us, like, do you know how many fucking countries don't have any support whatsoever? Like, even if they wanted to ask for help, an addict couldn't ask for help. So like, how entitled am I as an addict to not ask for help because my ego or pride's too big, when there's people out there who are addicts who wish they could ask for help but can't?